Alagang Amoso, Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines. Ang programang para sa mga Filipino seafarers at kanilang pamilya. Maghahatid ng impormasyon, magbibigay ng inspirasyon at tatalakay sa kanilang mga sitwasyon, kalagayan at iba pang mga pangangailangan. Alagang Amoso. Kasama si Camille Simbulan dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko.
Pagbati, magandang araw and welcome po to Alagang Amosup, ang serbisyo publiko sa radyong hatid ng Associated Marine Officers and Seamen's Union of the Philippines o Amosup at ng Radyo Pilipinas World Service. Sa programang ito po ay pinag-uusapan natin ang iba't ibang mga welfare programs and services ng Amosup para sa ating mga miyembro at mga dependents ng ating unyon. Tinatalakay din po natin dito ang mga napapanahong issue tungkol sa mga karapatan at kapakanan ng mga magigiting nating Filipino seafarers or sea-based overseas Filipino workers. Ang Alagang Amosup ay napapakinggan din po sa flagship station ng PBS-BBS Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko 738 kHz sa pangunguna naman ni RP1 Manila Station Manager Mr. Alan Alianige tuwing linggo alas 7 ng gabi hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi. Special shoutout po sa mga miyembro ng Amosup at sa lahat ng mga Pilipinong mandaragat sa iba't ibang panig ng mundo na nakatutok sa atin. So last week po ay napag-usapan natin ang seafarer abandonment at paano nga ba ipinaglalaban ng International Transport Workers Federation o ITF ang karapatan ng mga mandaragat na inaabandona ng kanilang mga kumpanya. Kasama po natin last week si Chief Engineer Arvin Peralta. At ngayong araw naman po, patuloy nating ipinagdiriwang ang buwan ng kababaihan o Women's Month. Sa diwa ng selebrasyong ito, ating tatalakayin kung paano pinamumunuan ng ating espesyal na panauhin mula sa Maritime Industry Authority o Marina upang tiyakin ang isang mas sustainable, makabago at inklusibong hinaharap para sa industriya ng maritima sa Pilipinas. Ang kanilang dedikasyon at mga reforma ay may malaking papel sa pagtataguyod ng kapakanan ng ating mga seafarers at pagpapalakas ng sektor ng pandagat sa bansa o ng ating maritime industry. So ang episode po natin today, Woman at the Helm, how Marina Administrator Sonia Malaluan is steering the Philippine maritime industry towards a sustainable, innovative, and inclusive future for all Filipino seafarers. Isang karangalan po para sa atin na makasama ngayon live sa ating studio, si Marina Administrator Miss Sonia Malaluan. Admin Malaluan, magandang araw po and welcome po to Alagang Amosup.
Magandang araw po sa Alagang Amosup at sa lahat ng tagapakinig ng Alagang Amosup. Sa lahat po ng ating mga marinong Pilipino, magandang araw sa inyong lahat.
Thank you po, ma'am. Siyempre, kasama rin po natin ngayong araw si Mr. Luisito de los Santos, Director 2 ng Planning and Policy Service ng Marina. Sir, welcome po to Alagang Amosup.
Salamat po sa imbitasyon na to at kami nagagalak na napagbigyan po ng oportunidad na magbigay din ng mensahe sa ating mga Filipino seafarers.
Okay, salamat po sir. Talaga pong we're honored po to have you na pinaunlakan niyo po ang aming imbitasyon. Okay, so ang first question po, gusto po muna namin kayong kilalanin. Of course, we know po the very important positions that you hold in Marina. Pero talaga po bang yung direction po ng inyong professional careers ay talagang sa maritime industry po? Because we know that you're both career officials po, ano? So, ikwento nyo lang po sa amin, sa inyo pong 3 dekada sa ating public service. Paano po tayo na punta sa Marina? Yes, ma'am.
Yes, salamat, no. Sa totoo lang, hindi siya pang maritima talaga. I was a graduate of accountancy and a certified public accountant. So,
CPA
nag-umpisa ako sa Marina as a management and audit analyst. So, it's more on the financial and accounting and auditing fields that I was really trained, and kumbaga yan yung landas na natural na tatahakin kung CPA ka, no? So, but again, I was given an opportunity to work as executive assistant ng head of Marina. So, executive assistant po ako ng administrator ng Marina starting from 1992 actually, when there was a change in the administration. And from then on, I serve 5 administrador. So, as executive assistant, yan yung nagmulat sa akin sa buong industriya ng maritima. So, yung mga polisiya, ano yung mga ginagawa, anong mga regulasyon ang dapat ipatupad, diyan po nag-umpisa na from purely financial, napunta ako sa malawak na pag-unawa sa industriya ng maritima. So, and after that, nagkaroon, kumbaga sinwerte, no, napadala ako for a scholarship sa World Maritime University. So, from dito sa local na maritima, napunta ako sa mas malawak, that is a global maritime community. So, yung experience doon, studying talaga yung maritime industry, no? At makasalamuha mo ang mga taga-maritimang industriya sa buong mundo ay napakalaking experience at malaking naitulong sa career, no? So, yan yung nagbukas ng aking mga mata na napakahalaga, napakamagandang magtrabaho sa Maritime Industry Authority. So, doon na nag-umpisa. I rose from the ranks. So, pagbalik, napunta sa planning at marami pang ibang service unit sa Marina. Kumbaga, naikot ko yung mga opisina sa Marina. So, walang kapantay ang actual experience. Pakisalamuha sa mga seafarers, sa mga bankero, and of course, lahat ng stakeholders sa maritime. So, yan yung medyo nalinya na ako sa maritime. So, it's more on the experience sa Marina, no?
Hitik
For
na hitik po yung
35 years.
credentials ni ma'am. Alam ko po maraming natuwa nung kayo naging administrator kasi sabi nga talagang career professional si ma'am sa maritime industry. Lahat ng nabusisi niya na lahat ng na department sa Marina, kaya alam niyo po talaga kung ano yung mga kailangan gawin. Mamaya po pupunta tayo dyan sa mga programa niyo po. Si Sir naman, i-share niyo naman po sa amin yung inyong journey papunta sa Marina.
Ako naman ay nagsimula sa academe. Dati kong part ng teaching staff ng University of St. Louis in Tuguegarao. Tapos nasabi ko sa sarili ko, because my mother used to work for the government, sa Department of Agriculture. Sabi niya, "Oh, may civil service eligibility ka," sabi niya. "Why not join the government? It's more stable," sabi niya. Then from the school, I move on doon sa Department of Foreign Affairs. Then ang na-assign sa akin, basically, was to handle the national coordination ng Philippine participation sa International Maritime Organization process.
Sa IMO.
So, kumbaga, na-appreciate ko talaga yung mga issues. When I was there, ang talagang pinag-uusapan sa IMO, yung compliance natin sa STCW Convention. That's, I think, the 1995 amendments. Yung Deputy Administrator ng Marina at that time, si Mrs. Delgado, asked me if I have interest to join the maritime industry. Sabi ko, okay na po ko dito sa DFA. Then as years went by, parang na-appreciate ko yung issue ng maritime industry. Sabi ko, I want to develop an expertise doon naman sa isa sa maritime industry. When I was at the Marina, I was also fortunate to have been awarded a scholarship to study doon sa World Maritime University, doon sa Malmo, Sweden. So, the administrator and I sabihin natin schoolmates, although
Schoolmates.
Hindi kami same na same
alumni po
time.
pala
So,
kayo ng WMU.
So, kumbaga, malaking tulong yung experience namin doon sa WMU to appreciate more yung mga issues basically ng maritime industry ng Pilipinas. At napakalawak ang industriya natin. And
Yes.
balik po tayo ngayon. Nagpapasalamat po kami because medyo mahina po ata tayo sa narrative ng maritime industry at napakalaking pribilehiyo po ito na mapagbigyan kami na magsalita tungkol sa ating maritime industry, particularly on how we are doing the promotion ng interest ng ating mga seafarers.
Yes, of course. And we know na kaya rin po siguro hindi kayo nahirapan na mag-move from DFA to Marina is because the maritime industry is a highly global industry. Yung mga international stakeholders talagang work hand in hand po, to further expand, to yun nga po, yung i-move forward pa yung ating industry, lalo na po ngayon sa era ng green shipping, yung mga issues po na pag-uusapan ngayon, decarbonization, automation, digitalization. Okay, so mamaya po pupunta tayo dyan. So para po sa mga listeners natin, lalo na po sa mga bago pa lang, sa industriya, yung mga magito natin mga seafarers. So, para po sa kanilang impormasyon, ano po ba yung mandato ng Maritime Industry Authority o Marina? Of course, we know na yung Presidential Decree no 1974, PD 474 or the Maritime Industry Decree, yan po yung naging dahilan ng pagka-establish po ng Marina. And nung 2014 naman po, through the Republic Act 10635, it was an act establishing Marina as the single maritime administration responsible for the implementation and enforcement of the 1978 International Convention on STCW for seafarers and international agreements. So can you explain to us po in a nutshell, ano po yung mandato, ano po yung mga responsibilidad po ng Marina to ensure the competency po, yung kalidad ng mga ng maritime labor force po na atin?
Sige. Well, first off, I want to ipaliwanag lang natin, yung Marina hindi lang para sa mga seafarers. Marami tayong naririnig na dapat mga marino ang head ng Marina. Di po ba? Pero dapat pong malaman na ang mandato ng Marina hindi lang po seafarers. So lahat ng we used to explain it simpler to other people na kami yung LTO, LTFRB sa karagatan. Plus, plus, plus. Meaning ng plus, plus, plus. Yung mga gumagawa ng barko ay nakapaloob din po sa mandato ng Marina. So, yung mga tinatawag nating shipyard, whether nagko-construct sila o nagkukumpuni lang sila ng barko or bangka, sakop din po yun ng Marina. Unlike sa land transportation, pag dumarating sa atin ang mga kotse and buses, they are manufactured by models, no? Sa barko, no barko is two ships are entirely similar, no? They even sister ships may mag-iiba pa rin konti, no? Walang parehong-pareho. So bawat isa diyan dumadaan sa Marina from ang tawag namin from birth to death of a ship. Meaning plano mo pa lang bumili ng barko, kailangan ng approval ng Marina kasi para namang sa bahay, bago ka magtayo ng barko, kailangan mo ng plano. So sa barko, ganun din. Bago ka magpagawa ng barko, kailangan mo ng plano. And sinong gumagawa ng plano? Naval architects. So nire-review rin po yan ng Marina, yung mga plano para sa paggawa ng barko bago pa lang gawin. So doon pa lang po, kasama na si Marina. Ngayon, kung bibili ka naman ng barko abroad, which is ginawa na, constructed in Japan, in Korea, and in other countries, bago mo sila dalhin sa Pilipinas, kailangan namin ding i-check. And meron tayong mga polisiya tungkol dyan. So, kumbaga, from acquisition to operation ng mga barko, lahat dadaan sa Marina at maraming proseso. Tapos, ikinu-qualify natin yung subsector, kumbaga, ng maritime. So, we have domestic shipping. Lahat ito ay tungkol sa pag-operate o pagpatakbo ng mga barko sa within the Philippine waters. Meron tayong overseas shipping, mga barko na nagdadala ng bandila ng Pilipinas or tinatawag natin Philippine registered or Philippine flag ships, pero nag-ooperate sila sa labas ng Pilipinas. Meron nga tayong isang sector which is the shipbuilding, ship repair sector. Yan yung paggawa, pagkumpuni ng mga barko. And by the way, the Philippines is number 5 sa paggawa ng mga barko globally. So, ang shipbuilding natin, number 5 tayo. Of course, medyo malayo in terms of the laki ng barko doon sa number 4, no? Pero still, we are proud and we know there is a lot of potential. Pwede po nating palakihin ang industriya ng paggawa ng mga barko sa Pilipinas. So, and of course, itong ating pinag-uusapan, we call it maritime human resource. Because hindi lang po mga marino o yung ating mandaragat ang nasasakupan ng marina, pati po yung mga nagtatrabaho sa shipyard. At meron pa din po na sa ating Maritime Industry Development Plan, gusto pa rin nating palakihin yung mga other services like ship management and other ancillary services that is necessary for the entire maritime industry. So marami po sila, and pati po yung kasama din, no, pati yung mga fishing. Pero hindi naman namin nasasakupan yung mga mangingisda mismo. Pero yung mga nagpapatakbo ng mga fishing boats at fishing vessels, sakop din po ng marina. So, napakalaki ng ating mga tungkuling dapat na gawin. At kasama dito, regulasyon. Meaning, lahat ng standards, regulations ng 4 na sectors. Pero meron pa tayong mas malaking mandato, which is the development of the industry. We need to support how to expand domestic shipping, how to expand shipbuilding, how to ensure itong mga seafarers ay talagang competitive, addressing itong mga ating emerging challenges on digitalization, automation, and decarbonization. So ito ay we are thinking of as well mga programs that will help and ensure na madi-develop natin yung mga sectors to ensure na sila ay naaayon sa mga changes in the global maritime industry. So, and aside from that, meron pang mga iba, no? Classification Society, Marine Surveyors, on the side. So, pero still covered pa rin ng marina, no?
Ang
So,
lawak
ganun
po pala,
kalaki.
ma'am.
Kaya hindi lang ang misconception sometimes siguro, kala nila, because we have the most number of seafarers
Yes.
globally. And sa record ng marina, meron kaming 1,300,000 seafarers na merong identity document.
Okay.
So, kumbaga yan yung population ng mga seafarers na, no? Napakalaki. At ang nadideploy pa lang natin sa overseas, based on the DMW record, I think 2023 was somewhat the highest, 578,000. Bumaba ng konti in 24. Pero, merong mga projection ang international research, mga organizations na kailangan pa ng mas marami. They are projecting a shortage pa of seafarers in the coming years. That's
Lalo na
why
po officers, ano?
yes, that's why we are
Officers.
focusing on those aspect para hindi natin mawala yung market.
Yes.
Because it's not only to maintain as the number 1 but to increase our share.
Yes.
Diba? So a lot of things and programs, projects to implement so we can really address those requirements.
Lawak talaga ng mandato ng
Oo.
Marina. Even alam ko po yung mga compliance sa environmental laws, kapag kasi kunyari may mga oil spill, kayo yung ini-interview, kayo yung responsible sa mga
Pero ngayon
ganung
medyo
matters
maganda yung relationship, no? Kasi hindi na yung laging kami lang yung sinisisi.
Opo.
At saka klaro na yung line or delineation sa Coast Guard and Marina.
Yes.
And we have a very, very, very strong, good relationship. We are indeed partners. We regularly now conduct Marina PCG Forum. Kasi we need a stronger enforcement of rules. Kasi parang given na to sa Pilipinas, we have many rules and regulations.
Yes.
Pero the challenge is always on the
enforcement,
implementation and
yes.
enforcement. So, and si Marina, although nag-evolve yung function namin, no? Lumaki ng lumaki over time.
Yes, ma'am.
From PD 474, EO 125-125A, RA 9295, 10635, and now 12021. And yet, our structure hindi ganun lumaki. So, doon kami medyo challenged. No? Imagine an archipelago of 7,600 islands and we only have 12 offices nationwide. And can you imagine how we could provide the services that we need to provide and to bring that closer to the stakeholders, those bangko operators, small boat operators in the different islands. We don't regularly they have to go to our regional offices, which is far from their locations, or we can go to them but not as regular as we want it to be because of the limited manpower resources. So yan yung we're still overcoming that challenge, and it is the same with the new law. We were again given additional mandates,
The Magna
and yet
Carta.
we haven't received any resources yet.
Okay.
So that's why I keep on saying I will not implement it fully until we receive the resources that we've been asking for this additional
And rightly
function.
so. Dami niyo pong ginagawa.
So yan yung mga challenges namin. Ang pagkaiba lang dahil kami nga, and this is the first time, no, that all the top management of Marina are from Marina, from within.
From
So we
within.
understand
Rose
each
from within.
other. We know the industry.
Yes.
We understand the industry. We understand the challenges and the areas that we should focus on. This is the first time from administrator, deputy administrators, executive director, all from Marina. And we
Ganda ng dynamics po.
yes,
ninyo.
it's a team. We understand each other just by looking at each other. We know if we want to push it or object to it or etc. So it makes easier to come up with projects and programs, because we read instead of you have to study first the industry, no, so we
Yes,
know the
ma'am.
pulse, saan may problema, saan ang priority. So yun lang
Yes.
yung advantage. And we cannot leave any of the sectors behind, no, they have to
Yes.
go together. Kung nag-expand ang mga seafarers, dapat pati domestic seafarers na address
Yes.
natin. Domestic shipping, we have to address. So, they all have to get the same attention and importance, because one is an integral part of the entire industry.
Yes.
So, yun yung mga
Napakaganda na.
marami.
Yes, ma'am. And you know what, na-notice ko, and marami rin po nakakapansin sa industry na you're everywhere. So, ang dami niyo pong mga na-build na partnerships with stakeholders, domestic and international stakeholders. Ang dami niyo pong mga MOA, like with the International Transport Workers Federation, with Gold Foundation, even yung sa mental health po, alam ko meron po kayong collaboration on that, mental health of seafarers, which is really good. Nakikita natin na, ang dami nagsasabi na, si Marina napaka-active ngayon building partnerships with different organizations, ensuring na holistic yung approach in developing the industry.
Yeah, because sabi mo nga, shipping maritime is global.
Yes, ma'am.
And safety is everyone's responsibility. So we have to define the role of each of the players, no, whether you're a rider or passenger, you're the ship owner or you're the crew of the ship, we all have to perform our own roles, no.
Yes.
That's why, and given the limitation, we cannot claim monopoly of everything, no. So each and every organization, they have different focus that we
Let's
can
work together.
synergy yan, no.
Yes.
So we can make use of the available resources, so we don't duplicate, we don't waste resources, but get that synergy from partnerships. So that's why one of my strategy is indeed to establish stronger partnership. But
Collaborations.
please take note na although marami kaming MOA, MOUs, ang lagi kong sinasabi, hindi lang pwede tayo pirma lang ng pirma. After that, what's the
Action plan.
What is the outcome? Have we provided an added value to what we do, or have we improved on how we do things? And our stakeholders, the seafarers, nararamdaman ba nila na merong change? Because if we are just talking about all these programs, and if we ask the seafarers, wala, it's the same, then we're not effective. It's always should be felt by the stakeholders. It should be felt by the passengers or seafarers. So yun naman, nire-review din natin. Hindi paramihan.
Yes,
Hindi
yes.
paramihan
Quality
na-
over quantity.
Yes, the outcome is what matters, no? It's not just output na ang daming MOA sign, but what's the outcome? Has it make a change, no? Kahit maliliit lang. I always believe like sa small steps, no? Kahit small steps, basta you are in the right direction, you will reach your destination. It may
I love
take
that.
some time, but at least you're going to where you want to go. Instead of you step forward and then one step forward and several steps backwards or sidewards. So you will not reach your destination. So small steps, small wins will eventually become bigger success, no? So yan yung mga small namin sa Marina na okay lang, konti-konting pagbabago basta may pagbabago.
Basta may pagbabago.
Mas mahirap yung walang nangyayaring pagbabago, no? So yun lang naman ang simple approach namin sa Marina.
So, ano po ngayon yung priorities po ng Marina?
So hindi pa rin nagbago yung priority ko last year when I assumed as the maritime marina administrator. First, of course, is safety in domestic shipping, because we still have incidents, accidents, no. Second is the welfare of our seafarers, that we will ensure that their employment, their livelihood wouldn't be at stake or at risk. And third is we provide comfort and yung simple lang na processing of documents ng seafarers. And we are proud na na-improve namin yan, drastically reducing the processing time. So ang gusto namin sa Marina, alam na natin yung hirap ng ating mga seafarers working away from families. So the objective of Marina is not to burden them with time spent on waiting in Marina or getting their documents, but instead spending that time, quality time with families and loved ones, or even just vacation because they are on vacation. Malaking bagay sa mga seafarers, no? That's why yung ating certificates online, anywhere you can apply and you can get it then online. So malaking, I know, malaking tulong.
Laking ginhawa. Yan.
Pero nung unang implementation kasi namin in 22, of course, it's always when you implement new system, may mga birth pains, no?
Of course.
Nag-balloon yung waiting time and there was parang umabot ng 3 months. They have submitted their documents and they haven't heard from Marina. So sabi ko, hindi dapat yun yung magiging resulting change, no, from implementing an online or digital process. So now we can safely and proudly say from 3 months, 2 months, now they are just days, no. So I guess 1 week queuing provided lang. So yun yung request natin sa ating mga seafarers, magbasa po tayo, alamin kung ano yung mga tamang dokumento. Kasi kapag po kompleto, tama, napakabilis. Pero pag po kung ano-ano yung sinasubmit natin, mali, kulang, and then humahaba yung proseso. So it adds to our work and to them as well. Kasi babalik yung dokumento, no? So again, ang appeal lang po, nandun naman sa website din, may mga instruction, basahin lang carefully. And nag-i-issue din kami sa aming Facebook account yung mga simple infographics on how to use the system. So hindi po siya mahirap, pero malaking tulong. Kasi even if nasa airport ka pa lang, pauwi ka pa lang, you can apply na eh.
Yeah.
So pagdating mo sa Pilipinas, family time, check ka na lang sa isang araw sa makalawa kung ay ano kayo nangyari kay Marina, okay na ba? Then kampante ka, no? You can spend, hindi ka nag-aalala. Naku, alis na ako. Wala pa akong dokumento and then saka ka pa lang mag-aasikaso. Tapos, before, kahaba ng pila kay Marina, no? Tapos, babalik pa sa'yo. Though nai-stress, this time, bawas stress. Kasi, may time ka at the convenience of wherever, whenever you are available to apply, no?
That's
Yun
a
lang.
very good initiative, ma'am. Talaga
So,
pong...
same din yan doon sa ibang dokumento, yung Seaman's identification document. Before, bago ka makakuha ng appointment, it will take a month or weeks. Now, you can try looking now at the appointment system. You can get a slot tomorrow.
Wow.
And when you have that
Napakabilis.
appointment, maximum siguro 2 hours mo sa Marina and then you will get it. So, ganun na kabilis and may mga susunod. Actually, ang instruction ko sa kanila, lalo na sa mga certificates, Ngayon, 3 to 5 days yung STCW certificates. Ang gusto ko sana within the day. But it's still slow, we will achieve
get
that
there.
eventually, no. So at least malaki na yung pagkabago. And yung isa nating accomplishment, yung matagal na pinag-aawayan na management level course, we reviewed that last year, and we have reduced the training period almost 50%, no.
Okay.
So magkaiba, hindi ko tanda ngayon kung ilang days, pero almost 50% na reduce ang training period. Of course, kapag na-reduce ang training period, na-reduce din
Yung
yung
cost.
And ang mahalaga yung time, no?
Time, yes.
So we remove all those redundant requirements, those na operational, hindi management level talaga na ginagawa na nila sa barko day to day. So I guess we got naman positive feedback. Wala na tayong naririnig na mga reklamo about MLC. And sinasabi ko again, paulit-ulit, hindi man nasusulat sa STCW convention ang training na management level course. All the competencies required there are in the convention. It's just the title. You cannot find the title there. Walang mga title ang iba doon, no? But the competencies which we have reviewed, kailangan talaga. And if we don't provide that, then magkakaproblema din sila when they are on board. So, ang ulitin ko, ang objective ng Marina, ang mandato is to ensure na paglabas nila ng bansa, hindi sila magkakaproblema. Because if we will be very lax, okay lang. Pero pagdating doon, marami silang problema or hindi sila kukunin ng ship owner because they are not compliant. So our role is to ensure i-employ sila at when they are on board na, hindi naman sila mapoport state control na may mga kulang. So yan yung aming role. Hindi kami kontrabida, hindi kami pabigat. We are ensuring as government that when our seafarers go on board, they will not have any problem in terms of the qualification and the requirements of the convention. Yun lang.
Yun nga po, yung maganda na nabanggit nyo na hindi kayo kontrabida, you're actually here to help them. And nakita naman po natin na na-ease nyo na yung processing, yung efficiency po ng pag-process ng mga documents, mga certification, ano. And that's something na dapat din po ma-appreciate, no, ng ating mga Pilipinong mandaragat. And yun nga po, very approachable naman po ang inyong office, hindi po ba? Mamaya po pwede nyo po i-share kung saan sila pwedeng mag-contact, kung meron po kayong Facebook or meron kayong email address, kung meron po silang mga queries para hindi na sila kailangan pumunta kasi ngayon naman, lahat naman ngayon online na. Okay, thank you po for those information, ma'am. Naku, napaka-enlightening. I'm sure sa mga listeners natin, marami po silang napupulot dito sa discussion natin. So mag-move on naman po tayo sa next topic. Yung nakaraang taon po, nilagdaan po ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos yung Executive Order 55 na kumikilala sa Maritime Industry Development Plan o MIDP 2028 na magbibigay daan po para palakasin yung industriya ng maritima sa bansa. Maaari nyo po bang ibahagi sa amin kung ano-ano po yung mga nakapaloob dito na programa, ano po yung mga status ng mga programa na ito. Na-mention nyo na po yung iba kanina, ano? So siguro po konting dagdag na information lang po tungkol sa MIDP.
Ang nakakatuwa lang dito, kami sa Marina, we were over the moon because napansin ng presidente, no, yung importance of the maritime industry. So parang kung yung PD 474 was issued by his father, siya rin yung nakapansin ng importance of the maritime industry for national development, no, and progress. So we are very thankful to the President for recognizing that and issuing the executive order. Maraming programa dito, actually 8, no, sa in general. So yung kaninang nabanggit ko na 4 na sectors, of course may mga programs specific to those 4 sectors. Pero aside from that, yung tinatawag natin na programa that cut across all those 4 sectors, particularly safety, and security sa lahat, domestic shipping, overseas shipping, shipbuilding, and our manpower, may area na kailangan tutukan yung safety and security. So meron tayong tinatawag namin sa MIDP na overriding programs. Ito yung common and cutting across the four, yung nauna natin tinatawag na core programs, or yan ay based dun sa sectors. So ang isa dyan is environment concerns. Lahat yan meron din, no? Kung may mga environment policies tayo or regulations to address and to address climate change, for example, this is very hot issue globally. Lahat yun, kung i-apply natin first sa overseas shipping, because it's mandatory because we are party to the IMO conventions. Second is domestic shipping, because climate change is also affecting, no? Even if domestic shipping siya, when we talk of climate change, kasama rin, nagko-contribute din, no? And manpower, lahat ng yan, kailangan matrain yung ating mga seafarers para safe ang operation ng mga barko. And sa shipbuilding, ganun din. Kasi when they construct the ships now, very, very, kumbaga, ito na yung trend, because they are trying to comply na with the measures to address climate change. Lahat ng mga bagong barko ngayon ay tinatawag nating dual fuel. So, meaning yung mga engine nila, engine rooms, ay pwedeng sabay-sabayan na yung ngayon na mga existing pa natin na fuel na hindi zero or near zero emission. And pwede rin silang mag-carry ng alternative fuel until such time na meron ng global zero or near zero fuel that they will use. So, and digitalization. This is, sabi namin noong 2019 in IMO, I was maritime attaché, by the way, sa IMO for 3 years. So, ang sabi namin doon, the future of shipping is digitalization and decarbonization. So, digitalization is very important because marami na ring barko ang automated, no? Maraming mga solutions na ini-implement, computerized engine room, engine maintenance systems, lahat naka-computer-based na, no? Not to mention the autonomous ships, unmanned ships, marami, no? So these are all developments na dapat hindi natin baliwalain, because this will affect our seafarers and future seafarers. So we have included that. And of course, we cannot do all this core and overriding program if Marina itself is weak. So one enabling program is we have to strengthen the organization, implement quality systems. Again, that's why we have submitted our organization staffing structure and staffing plan to really augment the resources of Marina, personnel and financial, no? Kasi we cannot do all these functions if barya lang yung budget namin and konti lang yung tao namin. Who will do this? We are multitasking already, and we can only ang dami nag-overtime, working beyond work the regular work hours, Saturday, Sunday. May peak, no? May hangganan ang ating kapasidad na i-sustain ang ganung klase ng work attitude. It's not fair to all the employees to be, yes, they are not complaining, but there is limitation. We in the management should recognize na hindi kaya na buong panahon ganun lang lagi, no, na overtime. We have to achieve a life-work balance. Otherwise, productivity will eventually be low if that's the way how we do things. And I'm very proud, and I commend all Marina employees because they are really multitasking, working beyond the required, no, extending and providing services na walang reklamo, no. Sometimes mayroon pa tayong policy sa government na hindi nagbabayad ng overtime. It's a compensatory time off. Pero how could you avail of the time off if the work is filing nandyan? Kailangan mo ring tapusin, ikaw din magtatapos. So that's why we are still in management working very hard to strengthen the organization. And quality system is one. digitalization of our processes, because eventually mas magaan, no? Kasi less na yung, wala nang mga printing and all, and you can just we can also implement alternative work arrangements, work from home if it's already in the computer, no? So you evaluate applications even at home. So marami naman ding measure, but still we need additional personnel to be more effective and to develop more. So yun yung 8 na mga programs, no?
Under the MOU.
As to the status, as I have mentioned, priority namin yung digitalization. So that's the overriding program on digitalization, innovation, and transformation, as well as yung enabling program. Kasi yun dun muna ang unahin, no? Para if we are stronger and better, then we can provide and address the programs better then, no? And more effectively. So digitalization, I know you heard already that we implemented, we rolled out our Marina BEST, that is the Marina blockchain-enabled certification system last July 24. But it's not 100%. So we are looking at by end of 25, siguro mga 90%, kasi yung franchise na tinatawag natin hindi pa namin maisama, medyo complicated. So that would be the last module that we will implement. But again, we are also under digitalization. It's not only our system. We want to have an effective interface. Meaning, we have started may interface, hindi full API, no? Yung ating system for seafarer certification, nag-i-input na doon ang mga training centers, MHEIs, medical centers, and medical practitioners. So, kumbaga, but ni-input pa nila. Ang dream ko sana, kung meron ng sariling system, yung mga MHEIs, MTIs, there is no longer need to re-input. Mag-uusap yung mga systems.
Ganda nun.
That's the interface, no? We get the data from them na na pinag-usapan na. So we don't duplicate the inputting or encoding. The systems will talk and get what we need, and we can also provide if they need to verify or they need the final.
Mabilis na.
But it's
interconnected
nasa
yung
program,
mga systems.
nasa target yon.
That's the long term.
So ang condition lang doon, of course, all these entities should have also their computerized system. Because if they don't have, then walang system na mag-uusap. No? And it will reduce the error, it will increase reliability, security, and we can easily implement data privacy and all other requirements. No? So that's the dream. So initially, ngayon hanggang end of 25, yun munang system ni Marina should be working very effectively, so that when we interface, less problem na, no? Kasi kung may problema pa yung system, tas nakikonnect ka sa iba, then lumaki yung problema. No?
So you're working on your...
Yes, so that's the target for the digitalization. And although, yung sa seafarers, we have signed a memorandum of agreement with the International Chamber of Shipping. So, mauuna yung interface natin with ship owners. The International Chamber of Shipping members are ship owners globally. So sila yung mga employers, no? Not association of not the individual Danish shipping association. The ship owners themselves are members of the International Chamber of Shipping. So kumbaga kung gusto nila ng kailangan ko ng ganitong officers, they can look at the ilan ba ang mga certificated ng Marina.
Wow,
and then if the manning agency will provide the names, okay, ito yung aming mga i-hire for you, then they can verify. Are they compliant with all the certificates complete? So that's one. And through the ICS also, we envision that we call port state control regime. Ito yung mga member governments of IMO na nag-check sa mga barko na dumadaong sa port nila. So for example, in the Philippines, our port state control is the Philippine Coast Guard.
Yes.
So if a foreign registered ship call on our port, the Coast Guard will check all documents if they are compliant with the international regulation. So the same then, if a vessel, for example, Panamanian flag, will call on a port in Japan, for example, then they will check the documents of the crew as well. So gusto namin hindi na yung mano-manong
Physical,
physical dala-dala ng seafarers yung isang envelope nila of all documents. So if the port state control, we have in Asia, we call it the Tokyo MOU. So meaning lahat ng port state control of within the Asia, member sila ng Tokyo MOU. So if they could share and access our database, then mas madali. So lagi ko sinasabi to pag I'm going abroad, sa airport pa lang alam ko ang seafarer. Because they have that envelope with all the documents,
Yes,
no?
bulky.
So, seafarer to, ang
Yes,
dami niyang
yes.
dala-dalang dokumento. That's why ang dream ko sana, ang dala na lang niya cellphone niya.
QR.
Nandoon na lahat yung mga kailangan dokumento, no? So, at meron silang parang special packet dito sa system namin kung mawala. Before, physical document, nabasa, nahulog, you have to go through the same process of getting the document. May additional pa, certificate of loss or affidavit of loss. So, here, pag nawala, di mag-reprint ka ulit. Because it's in your own wallet, no? So, pati yung mga previous sea experience mo, andito lang yung record. Hindi yung nawala na. Ay, wala na yung company.
Yeah.
Hindi ka na makahingi. Now, it's in the pocket, no? So, yan yung ginagawa namin ngayon na within the year, we hope meron na nagpirmahan kami sa London last February. Kailan ba kami nandun? February 11. Second week of February. So,
With
mag-start na
ICS.
yung yung discussion on how the pilot project will be implemented.
Meron din po kami initiative sa AMOSUP, ma'am, yung Seafarers Digitalization, Validation, Verification and Evaluation Center. So, together with United Training Services, UTS.
Okay.
So, we're helping them digitalize, verify their documents.
Okay.
Yung,
So, yan yung isang interface
Aligned.
na pwede tayo.
Opo.
Kung verified nyo, meron ng mga database sa inyong system, then you can connect to our
Yan nga
mismo
po, ang ganda.
eventually. No?
Mabilis na.
System na yung nag-uusap. Kumbaga, nandoon lang sa system. You will just be given a secured way to log in. No? Kasi we have to be
careful din
with all the
cybersecurity
risk.
naman.
Oo. So, yun naman for seafarers. And for maritime safety, we continue to implement our enhanced compliance monitoring. And eto nga din with the Philippine Coast Guard kasi nga we're not present everywhere, no? In nationwide.
We have the 12 offices.
So the PCG naman, they have all the detachments sa mga
sa mga port
around the archipelago, no? So they are helping us enforcing the rules, and we continue to talk so that kung meron silang mga nakikita, oy, hindi malinaw itong regulasyon nyo. So nag-uusap kami, oy, ganito ibig sabihin yan. Kasi para uniform din yung ating implementation and enforcement. And we also have, we launched last October 15, what we call the Maritime Safety Awareness Campaign. And we are partnering with LGUs. So, yung ating 12 regional offices, they are also forging agreements with the local government units to use, meron kami mga binigay na mga safety collateral. So, they can put it in their mga municipal hall nila, sa mga common areas in the barangay. So, lalo na dun sa mga islands, no, those na alam nating sasakay ng mga bangka or barko. So, mababasa lagi ng publiko kung ano yung mga safety tips. And yung mag-conduct ng mga briefing na dapat ganito yung gagawin nyo when you take the mga barko natin, no. So, safety, yun yung campaign. Until kailan yung campaign? Until April initially. But since we are getting positive feedback, we will continue because hindi naman lahat matapos yung lahat, lalo na yung mga coastal communities, no? So we will extend it, yung phase 2 natin in towards the end of, hanggang end of 25. Pero dahil nga awareness should be a continuing
Yes.
activity until we develop that culture.
Safety culture talaga.
It becomes the way of life. So we will continue this project kasi we feel na maganda yung initial feedback and result. So we will continue that. We are very active in our decarbonization efforts. Because there are so many ships globally that are using methanol, hydrogen, and ammonia. But we are ensuring that all our seafarers are being trained first by the ship owners. Kasi gastos nila yon, mahal.
Opo.
At saka hindi pa natin alam kung ano talaga yung magiging global solution. Ammonia ba yan or hydrogen? But we are collaborating, as you said earlier. In fact, tomorrow and 19 and 20, we have a symposium in collaboration with Green Marine of Copenhagen. So they will focus ito sa methanol because Maersk, the big Danish company, is reflating. So meron na silang 2 na methanol fuel ships, but they have, I think, 8 pa na nakapaparating, naka-order pa lang. So, sila ang tumutulong sa atin for ano ba yung mga basic training to ensure na safe ang mga seafarers when they are on board methanol fueled ships. We are also collaborating with other governments of other member states, like in UK. We like is a best practices, parang benchmarking, no? So they are helping us. So pumunta yung team natin in UK to see how they do things. So benchmarking on the onboard training and all. I will be sending a team as well to Norway, because in Norway they are really using unmanned ships.
Oh, wow.
The maritime or autonomous surface ships, meaning although sa ngayon meron pang officer on board, but eventually so we want to see the remote operation center para we can prepare ano bang training ibigay natin sa seafarers para kung they have the option, they could also man the remote operation center. Ang kagandahan nun, hindi na sila sa laot. Nandito na sila sa lupa, pero performing seafaring functions. So yun, we have to prepare
sila sa mga pamilya.
Yeah, we have to prepare them. So but we don't have in the Philippines any autonomous ship. Hindi natin alam ano yung tsura ba ng remote operation center. So I'll be sending a team, I think April or May, to Norway to see actual
how it
na
will look like,
anong meron, anong mga equipment ba ang nandun, ano bang dapat na pag-aralan para they can also operate. And next week I will be signing as well an agreement with Maersk Line, because marami kaming ship officers, but aminin natin wala pa yung nakasakay sa barko na merong methanol, ammonia,
meron
or hydrogen.
po si Luz Viminda Ornopia.
Hindi, marami, pero sa Telga Marina ba? Kumbaga may mga nakasakay ngayon because they are manning that ships. Sila mismo. We attended the naming of her Australis. Is a car ferry with now is LNG, but in 26 it will be using ammonia. All Filipino crew and officers. 10 officers, all Filipino. And of course, they got all the training. But they are all on board. But for Marina, ship officers in Marina, we have captains, we have chief engineer. They haven't. During their time, there's no such ship yet. So the agreement with Maersk is they will allow our technical people to go on board their ships using methanol. So
really
alam din natin nung mga gagawa ng training
experience.
program and policy na ay ganito pala kapag ang barko ay fueled by methanol, ammonia or hydrogen or others. So yun yung mga preparation natin for decarbonization. Of course we are active in IMO. I will be in IMO again in April because the Marine Environment Protection Committee will approve the midterm measures to implement the GHG reduction strategy of IMO. So, isang strategy ko is for the Philippines to be not only visible but loud. So, meaning, may boses tayo, no? We are not just sitting at IMO and absorbing kung, ito, i-implement ni Pilipinas, papano. We need to be heard, no? Na, hey, may problema pag yan ang in-implement natin. So, that's why we establish primary and alternate representatives to IMO subcommittees and committees. So, dahil we are also member of the IMO Council, we need a very active participation in the deliberation of the global rules and regulation, because we don't have any choice. We are a member of the IMO, and again, shipping and maritime is global.
Yes.
This is the only profession that we depend on global standards. Other professions, you can just take the exam in UK. If you're a doctor in the Philippines, you take the exam in UK and then you can practice there. But since shipping is very global, you could be in one port in Sweden now, tomorrow you will be in Denmark. So they have different rules. That's why we need, and that's why we are ensuring compliance to international standards. Ito lang ang profession. Wag po nating i-compare kahit sa ang profession. Ito lang, I guess mga piloto siguro, no? Pero as to the numbers, mas marami yung seafarers, no? And again, the standards, the rules and regulations, they are technical. Very technical. So even if we want to get more people, we cannot just get any Juan and Pedro in the street and be in charge of all this development. That's why very important for us is the capacity and capability of the marina.
Yes, yes.
And we should be confident that we are the administration.
Yes,
so that gives, yung isang objective ko is to remove any doubt on our compliance. That's why ang appeal ko din, of course, we as a nation, we should be together, no? This is a whole of nation, hindi lang whole of government, no? Whole of nation. That's why I really value yung mga opportunities like this to provide information for them to be aware why they thought, si Marina, dami na naman training hinihingi. It's not Marina. We need to ensure they have that training so they will qualify abroad. So, yun yung objective.
We want to keep our lead, no?
Yes, and definitely the economic impact of the deployment of our seafarers is very big, no?
Yes.
Just for the remittance, no? Not to measure pa yung kumbaga domino effect niya, no? Better lives for the family, of course, education, etc., etc. Marami pang benefits, but we can easily quantify the remittances from our sea-based personnel. So that is average of $6.6 billion annually. That's why we really need to make the lives, yung mga simple processes of their documentation easier for them. No?
Easing the processes.
So yun naman yun yung role ni Marina that we are trying to really provide. Hindi po para maging pabigat, no? At pahirapan sila.
And to also create more opportunities. Kasi
Yes.
pag, more Filipino seafarers get trained for these zero-emission vessels or yung mga vessels of ships of the future, then mas maraming Filipino officers ang makakakuha ng trabaho.
Oo. At saka yun din, yung opportunity, itong mga bagong officers na train, na expose na, we can also tap them to help, no?
Yes, to mentor the
or to
younger
join
generation.
and help the Philippines train others, no? To be compliant and to be ready for, hindi na siya future, no? The automation is here. Nandito na ang decarbonization is just like hindi pa lang yung full, no? But it will be very soon.
Yes.
Kasi lahat yun ang pinag-uusapan.
And it's very good to hear you, ma'am, your leadership, your remarkable leadership, your plans, for the maritime industry in our country. And it's very very inspiring, especially for women. Kasi hindi po ba, traditionally, the maritime industry is a very male-dominated industry, but now it's like, a woman can be the marina administrator. We are seeing more women officers, a woman chief engineer, a woman captain. It's a very inspiring, it's a very exciting time to be a woman in the maritime industry, hindi po ba?
Yes, and that is also one of our programs, no, to ensure women empowerment and gender equality in all these subsectors, no, sectors in the industry, shipyard. And we have a lot of shipyard workers na mga babae
Mga
din.
welders na babae
Welders
po.
na babae. So is indeed opportunities na equal na to both
Yes.
men and women in the industry. But still there are challenges because I said nga the culture of other ship owners. But in a global maritime arena naman, the IMO is very proactive as well on women
Yes, and promoting.
development, gender development, and even other maritime administration. So, kumbaga, fully aware. And imagine the government of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You can imagine they are dominated by men. And if you will look at their culture and religion, before, talagang ang mga babae walang role in now
Now,
the AWIMA, that's the Arab Women in Maritime Association, is very active. Ang dami na ng mga from Saudi Arabia, from Iran, Iraq, marami sila na talagang very active na in maritime. So it's good to know na nag-open up na. Iba na yung landscape, no? Talagang they have recognized the role of women na equal din to men in maritime.
and hindi lang po sa cruise and passenger ships, even sa mga tanker, meron na rin mga
Yes, meron
women
naman.
officers in the
Bulk carrier. Yun nga lang, yung retention kasi
yun lang.
depende pa rin sa kasamahan mong mga officers on board. So, mas malaki pa, again, awareness and gender sensitivity
Yes.
training, and
GST.
is the role of the governments to ensure na may facilities on board for women. So itong Denmark, Sweden, Norway, they have quotas actually na dapat this percentage of women, 40% I think for the Scandinavia, na dapat women ang kinukuha. So na-encourage talaga.
Sa atin po sa Philippines, parang nasa 6% po
Wala
5 to
kasi pa tayong
6%.
quota, no? Quota kasi dapat talagang women ang kukuhanin. But sa atin, we haven't had any quota. But sa data ko, 7% yung may certificates ng mga women seafarers. But again, sa overall global statistics, ang women in maritime ay 2% lang. Sa seafarers, actually, from 2%, bumaba pa siya to 1%. Itong recent survey. That's why marami pang dapat gawin. Sa Pilipinas, medyo ahead tayo in terms of gender equality and women empowerment. Pero still, sa global, medyo malaki pang challenge.
Needs more work. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. DEI
But pero marami na
initiatives.
sa representative sa IMO, sa Maritime Administration. Nakakatuwa, I was invited, ito galing lang ako Indonesia, kasi isa ako sa mga women in Maritime Administration as leaders, no. Although marami yung katulad naming WMU graduate na nagli-lead na ng other maritime administration, pero yung women, konti pa lang kami. So, supported din ng IMO ang women and gender development in maritime.
That's really good. Okay, ma'am. Medyo nag-extend po
Nahaba.
tayo.
Ay, sorry.
Very interesting po kasi yung topic natin, yung inyo pong discussion about the priorities of Marina, kung gaano po kalawak pala yung sakop ng inyong mandato, and kung paano nyo po na-improve yung efficiency ng processing po ng mga certification, ng mga dokumento ng mga seafarers natin. Siguro po, mas lalo natin dapat i-highlight yan, sa ating mga pagkakataon like this po. At saka po yung sa safety culture, yung yung inyo pong initiative na napakaganda po ng feedback. Siguro po we can work further, no, para po i-promote din yan sa ating mga seafarers dito sa AMUSUP, yung mga members and dependents po natin. Napakagandang initiative po niyan ng Marina. Okay, so bago po tayo magtapos, siguro po final message po sa ating mga listeners, sa mga seafarers po natin.
Yes, again, siguro ang message ko lang, we are indeed very proud and happy for our Filipino seafarers. And nagpapasalamat po kami. We salute the dedication and perseverance of course, the excellent work that they do on board the global fleet. So maraming salamat po sa lahat ng ating mga marinong Pilipino. Ang rest assured that Marina is here to help and to ensure that your employment is not put at risk, and that we continue to provide employment opportunities for our Filipino seafarers. So maraming salamat again sa lahat. We are proud. Lagi namin pinagmamalaki yung ating mga Filipino seafarers.
Yes, thank you po, ma'am. And there's so much potential, no? And Marina is working really hard to maximize the potential of our Filipino seafarers. Sir Louie.
Where to send lang the feedback or questions?
Kung meron po kayong website or...
Actually, very active po ang Marina sa digital communications. So we have yung Marina Facebook page, yung may blue badge po. So we post information there. And in fact, yung mga vloggers natin, yung mga seafarers, may connect sila sa Marina, and sometimes they come and do their tapings there. Then we're also very active in coordinating yung mga seafarer related initiatives with the VN ng AMUSUP.
Gold Foundation.
Gold Foundation. Also for ICE1.
Si Marvin. Alumnus po yan ng MAAP.
Mga regular na mga contacts po natin.
Siya si Marino PH.
Marino PH. Of course, si Doc Rino.
Si Dr. Rino. Special shout out sa mga kaibigan natin, Bien, Marvil and Doc Rino.
Madami yung mga vloggers natin. Basically, so if they need information, and sometimes ang maganda ngayon because of digital communications, if there's something very controversial, may direct line sila sa Marina to check information. But at least that's one way for us also na mabawasan o ma-discourage yung fake news,
misconceptions, yung mga false information,
sabi nila dati napakahirap daw pumasok sa Marina. This time, at any given time,
open doors.
Yung mga vloggers natin, they regularly come and visit us. And in fact, we also include yung mga group of seafarers during yung mga press conferences ni administrator. They have slots there. Hindi lang yung mainstream media. Hindi lang mainstream media. We also involve yung mga vloggers. And in fact, yung mga vloggers are the ones very, very active in asking questions from the administration.
On behalf of the seafarers. Napakaganda po niyang inyong open door policy ngayon para sa ating mga seafarers. No? Maraming salamat po. At maraming salamat po again sa pagpapaunlak sa aming imbitasyon. So, bago po tayo magtapos, i-share ko lamang po yung AMUSUP Contact Center. We have our ACC. Our telephone number 632-8527-8491 hanggang 98. Our mobile numbers for Globe 63945-795-5345 at for Smart naman po 63920-437-1496. Yan po mga numerong yan ay para lamang po sa mga tawag. And of course, kung hindi pa po kayo nag-follow sa ating official AMUSUP official Facebook page and AMUSUP official Facebook group, please do so. Diyan po nagpo-post ng mga events, ng mga announcements ang AMUSUP ang ating union. Meron din po tayong AMUSUP official YouTube channel kung saan po pinupost yung mga episodes nitong Alagang AMUSUP at iba pong mga videos related to our service units. And of course, we have the www.amusup.org for more information about our union. Muli, maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsubaybay. Salamat sa mga kasama natin sa Radyo Pilipinas, si Ms. Susan Aizon, Milo Jonella, Jay Arevalo, Hero Lucero, Henry Doblas, Erwin Tanyano at Jerome Toledo. At syempre, sa ating ka-AMUSUP na si Ms. Shane Lontok Alvarez. At syempre sa ating mga panauhing pandangal ngayong araw, maraming salamat po, Marina Administrator Ms. Sonia Malaluan at Director Luisito de los Santos para po sa inyong oras at sa inyong walang sawang pagseserbisyo sa ating mga seafarers. ang inyong pamumuno talaga, ma'am, ay tunay na inspirasyon sa ating lahat. Lalo na po nakita natin kung gaano kayo ka people person, iniisip nyo yung mental health ng mga staff nyo sa Marina. Talagang you show them your appreciation, you recognize their effort in the work that they put in, para po sa success ng mga programa ng Marina. Maraming salamat po sa napaka-inspiring na episode with you, ma'am. Muli pong subaybayan ang programang Alagang Amusup sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko 738 kHz tuwing Sabado, alas 7 hanggang alas 7:30 ng gabi. Pagbati rin po muli sa lahat ng mga miyembro at dependents ng Amusup na siyang inspirasyon ng lahat ng mga programa at serbisyo ng ating unyon. Ako po si Camille Simbulan at ito po ang Alagang Amusup.
All aboard sa talakayan. Palalimin pa ang inyong kaalaman. Alagang Amusup dito sa Radyo Pilipinas World Service at Radyo Pilipinas Radyo Publiko.